Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's defense surging after slow start to the season. Also, NBA Cup and injury updates. The Miami Heat's defense is surging. After a shaky 3-5 start to the season that had the Heat ranked 19th in the NBA in defensive rating, allowing 114.6 points per 100 possessions, through its first 8 games, the Heat's defense has been among the best in the league since then. The Heat has posted the NBA's 6th best defensive rating, allowing 106.7 points per 100 possessions over the last 6 games. Miami has gone 4-2 during this stretch to get back to .500, improving to 7-7 this season after Sunday night's 123-118 overtime win over the Dallas Mavericks at Kaseya Center. It always ends up with being committed to doing really hard things, Heat coach Erik Spoelstra said when asked what's behind the uptick in the team's defensive metrics. There's no easy way about it. I don't think anybody has figured out how to shortcut anything. It's a mentality, no matter what the scheme is. There's nothing that can mask just having to take a challenge as a group. You have to get connected with it. One of the biggest reasons for the Heat's improved defensive numbers over the last 2 weeks is simple: the Heat is grabbing more defensive rebounds. During its 3-5 start to the season, the Heat ranked 19th in the NBA in defensive rebounding percentage, the percentage of available defensive rebounds a team grabs, at 69.8%. But during the Heat's last 6 games, it has posted the league's 4th best defensive rebounding percentage, 73.5%. That improvement has led to fewer second-chance points for opponents, cleaning up one of the biggest issues that plagued the Heat's defense early this season. As you can imagine, it's been a big point of emphasis, Spoelstra said of the Heat's defensive rebounding. But it's been a point of emphasis for a few weeks. We started out the season poorly in that department. I think it was really damaging, not just for your overall defense, but those can be deflating plays. You burn a bunch of calories, you do a bunch of things right, and then you give up a second chance opportunity. We take pride in finishing our defense. The Heat has also turned to its zone defense more often during this encouraging stretch, and it has been effective. After averaging just 4.7 zone possessions per game and allowing 1.29 points per each of those possessions during its 3-5 start, according to Second Spectrum, the Heat has averaged 13.2 zone possessions per game and allowed just 0.96 points per each of those possessions in the last 6 games. It also helps that perennial NBA Defensive Player of the Year candidate Bam Adebayo is on the Heat's roster. During the last 6 games, the Heat has produced an elite defensive rating of just 101.9 points allowed per 100 possessions with Adebayo on the court compared to allowing 116.4 points per 100 possessions when he hasn't been on the court. Heat's Jimmy Butler shouts out unheralded hero after thrilling win over Mavericks. It was a thrilling night for the Miami Heat as they beat the Dallas Mavericks in overtime, 123-118, in what was their second straight win after a week-long break. The Heat was led by another great outing from Jimmy Butler, but it was the second unit that got a shout-out from the star, more specifically, second-round rookie Pelle Larsson. While Butler would lead Miami with 33 points on 11 for 17 shooting, as well as making 11 of 16 from the free throw line, he also recorded 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Larsson, on the other hand, would score 14 points with 5 rebounds coming off the bench, as Butler would go as far as to say that the Swedish-born player reminds him of himself when he was much younger. He can just do everything. He really do, like he can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball, he can finish, he can guard, Butler said. I think as the game continuously slows down for him, he's just going to get more and more comfortable. It's really going to be hard for SPO to take him off the floor. I like the way that I always see him in early, leaving late, and honestly, he reminds me of myself whenever I was younger in this league, but he could probably shoot the ball a lot better than I could though. However, it was also the performance from veteran guard Alec Burks that gave Miami some key scoring throughout the game, looking to knock off Dallas, who went to the NBA Finals last season. It was a solid effort for Bam Adebayo, who finished with 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists as he said to Clutch Points after the game that Burks has the professionalism to take advantage of the playing time, which could be sparse. "Man, they made their mark in the game," Adebayo said when talking about the bench. "They impacted winning tonight. They hit some big shots. But it's the preparation that y'all see behind the scenes. Because, Alec will go from playing a lot of minutes to he might play spot minutes. And for him to be that professional all the time. Never get too down on himself, never get too up. It shows how he's lasted in his league just because of his professionalism." Asked Bam Adebayo about the effort from the bench. "They made their mark on the game, it's the preparation that y'all don't see behind the scenes." #Heat Nation. Burks would lead the bench in scoring with 15 points as he was the sole Heat acquisition not already on the team before in the offseason looking to acquire depth at the guard position. As shown Sunday night, he can provide a huge boost to the team on the offensive side of the ball, which he has been doing since the early 2010s. 3 teams that could be convinced to take Terry Rozier off the Heat's hands. Terry Rozier in the starting lineup hasn't been effective. With Tyler Herro serving as Miami's go-to scorer and playing well off the ball, Rozier's fit alongside him in the backcourt hasn't worked out. Herro benefits from having a long wing player next to him, but that's a discussion for another time. For the good of both Rozier and the team, coming off the bench is not the solution. Instead, Miami should consider trading Rozier to find a team willing to take him on. Rozier is owed $51 million over the next 2 years, which could make it challenging to find a suitable trade partner. Here are some teams that might be able to make room for Rozier. The Los Angeles Lakers are always looking for talent. With an older LeBron James still playing at a high level, you need to find any resources to help him win a championship. Rozier in Los Angeles could make some sense. D'Angelo Russell began the year as the starting point guard for the Los Angeles team, but he had difficulties in that role, which ultimately resulted in him moving to the bench. Recently, Russell has performed better coming off the bench. However, he is entering the final year of his contract, set to make $18 million. Los Angeles may consider trading D'Angelo Russell to shake up their roster, especially if he feels unhappy coming off the bench. Both Russell and Terry Rozier are known for their streaky performances. Russell excels as a catch-and-shoot player, while Rozier is more of a dribble step-back type. Adding Rozier could give Los Angeles a stronger scoring option from the bench, making him a more effective sixth man than Russell. A potential trade that could benefit both teams is as follows: Miami acquires Russell to improve floor spacing and brings back familiar player Gabe Vincent to enhance their guard depth. In return, Los Angeles receives Rozier, who could provide additional offensive support for their second unit. Richardson also fits financially and adds another wing defender to the roster. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Terry Rozier? Leave your opinion in the comments.